So hello dear friends, faithful patrons who have been supporting me. Sorry I've been missing out to bring out a couple videos these past couple weeks. So I'd bring you out something like this, let you know a little bit about my latest adventure, which was to cross the Atlantic. And what happened was that a friend of mine was going to cross the Atlantic with a boat, another captain, but the captain bailed because he had a problem with his wife, lost a baby or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, he canceled, couldn't do it. So this friend of mine asked me if I was willing to do it. I said, yeah, sure, Did it pay money? And I won't disclose how much because that's none of your business. But anyways, it was a good little thing. And the thing is, we were supposed to go at a certain day, and then he said, listen, if you can go the next day, I'll be able to give you double the money. I'm like, all right, we're going. So we kind of left, not so completely prepared, but we just did it, just do it. It's my kind of attitude, and went with two other guys, a Spanish guy and a Cape Verdean guy, and we sailed off. And yeah, the boat wasn't quite prepared, wasn't quite perfect. When we first left, we had 3 days of downwind, big waves, but it was good. The boat was solid, and it's a sloop and kind of a custom-made boat, and it happened to be a boat of a friend of mine who sold it, so I kind of knew a little bit about the boat. But anyways, it's kind of strange being on a new boat, but at the same time it was fun and different and exciting. So we're going, and it's pretty good, First, I was afraid to put the sails in a butterfly formation, but eventually I did it because we were really sailing downwind, and ended up doing that, putting up the spinnaker pole and holding out for several days like that, doing about 5 knots, making good time. And then we started hitting some dead spots and stuff, so we'd start up the engine, and there was tons of that sargassum weed, that's polluting all these beaches all over Florida and the Caribbean. And we'd go through there, and the propeller would get all like mucked up with that, and it would mess up, and the engine would die out. So we had to like jam it in reverse to clear out the weeds, and it kept going, and finally the engine would just dead. So I'm like, God darn it, I said, listen, I know in here in this boat somewhere is a spinnaker. Let's find it. Found the spinnaker, put up the spinnaker, and for 2 days straight, downwind sailing with the spinnaker, beautiful weather, it was great. A couple little squalls passed by, but nothing bad. You could see the storms at a distance coming through, coming past us, and they go over us, and the wind was no more than 20 knots and stuff, so it held in just for a few minutes, and did that through a whole night. And then the next day, and then the next night, we're going into it, and I'm like, should I keep the spinnaker up? And I'm like, yeah, these little squalls are no big deal. And there was one behind us, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I could kind of see it. It was dark, and I was like, oh man, this one looks a little bit meaner. There was some thunder and lightning. I'm like, shit, is this thunder and lightning near us? And I don't know. I was like, oh, I think we'll be okay. Then all of a sudden the wind started getting harder and stronger, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if we can take down the spinnaker now. And next thing you know, this squall just slammed us, man. Slammed the shit out of us, man. It was crazy. And I was able to let go of the lines, the sheets for the spinnaker, but one of them got knotted up as it was going through the pulley, and it just like got stuck, and the boat was like laying sideways, and I was just like, guys, hold on, it's gonna pass, and we did. We held on, and it passed, and next thing you know, total dead calm. Only thing was that we broke the spinnaker pole, but the spinnaker was still good. The spinnaker was still up high, and it was good. We put it down, and I'm like, okay, well, that screws us with the spinnaker. And we kept on going, and there's a few moments of dead calm, and let me tell you, it's true what they say about sailors, when there's like dead calm, that's worse than, actual wind. So we'd start up the engine a little bit, but it didn't kind of work, and anyways, I managed to get close to the new coast, to where we're getting to, close to French Guyana. And then there was no wind at all, and I'm like, what the hell is strange? there's no wind, but we're still moving at around 3.5 knots. Turns out there was this crazy current. And it reminded me of that movie Papillon. I don't know if you remember Papillon with Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman. At the very end of the movie, Steve McQueen throws out a bag full of coconuts, and he's like saying to Dustin Hoffman, like, look, there's a current. It takes you out to sea. Well, that current was taking us out to sea, and we're moving in the wrong direction. So I was like, wow, crap, man. So I was trying to move in the right direction. Finally, the wind kind of picked up. We was able to sail and keep going, but that was a tough part. I was a little worried because we were like really going the wrong direction. Finally, after a couple of days, we got close to the coast, and there I'm like, okay, we got to be careful, and because there's tides, and where we were going is really not well marked, and the maps were not that accurate and stuff, and so we just made it, and I said, okay, it was the last night. I'm like, okay, we're gonna wait one night, and we're gonna get in there when the tide is high, which meant like from 6 o'clock to midday. And we got in there around 8 o'clock and started going and got the engine going a little bit, and then it would die, got it going again, then it would die, and then I'd use the sails, because there's a little bit of breath and wind, and we made it around midday, high tide and everything, and after 15 and a half days, we did it, and I did it, and I'm super proud of bringing somebody else's boat there, and this is what happened. And I filmed some of the stuff during this crossing, and I'll hopefully do a full video or two about this crossing in the future. But right now, this is this Patreon's entry. Sorry if it's just me babbling, but here I am in Guyana, French Guyana, in the city of Cayenne, and it's really cool here. It's like the Amazon. There's all kinds of different peoples, like Indians and lots of Hispanics, Venezuelans, Colombians, all different places. I got my face shaved by a Dominican Republican dude, dreadlocks, tattoos, really cool. And it's good that I know a little bit of Spanish. I know plenty of French and can get around. And well, si Deus quiser, Inshallah, si Dieu le veut, tomorrow I'll be on an airplane to get back to Galapa in the next couple days. And that's it. Ciao.